My name is Hunter Calloway. I'm 47. I used to be someone who left handprints on financial systems, tracing fraud, auditing empires, whispering truths in boardrooms that smelled like fear. Now, I'm the husband of Eva Calloway. That's what the world calls me. CEO wife, invisible man. Helix Global shimmered like ice under Minneapolis sunlight. Glass blades scraped the sky, reflecting back a city I no longer belong to. I clutched the paper bag tighter. Her favorite, cinnamon latte, extra oat milk, handmade turkey sandwich. The note inside, just one line. Still here. Security barely looked up. I smiled, signed the check-in log with the same steady hand I used to break open shell companies. The receptionist wore a wire-thin smile. "Ms. Calloway is in a meeting, sir." "I'll wait." "On the executive floor." "I'm afraid." I walked, past the elevators, past the burnished gold plaques, toward the hall where glass frosted as you passed. Floor 42, Eva's floor. I reached the corridor just as the glass unfrosted, sensor timing, poor design. For 2 seconds, I saw everything. Eva, sitting behind her desk, laughing, and the man in front of her, tall, tailored, wristwatch gleaming, leaned forward to say something. His fingers tapped on the desk once, lightly, left hand. My stomach dropped. The ring, simple, platinum, with a slight beveled edge, the same one I wore on our wedding day. The same one I still wore. I stepped back, breath frozen. That wasn't just jewelry. That was our code. She'd designed that band herself. Told me, "When you look at it, remember, I chose you." That man was wearing my ring. Elevator doors hissed open behind me. I walked in without thinking. Pressed L. Didn't breathe until steel swallowed me whole. Outside, the wind had teeth. I crossed Nicollet Mall like a ghost, dropped the sandwich in the trash. The latte spilled, dark and sticky on the pavement. I checked my phone. Nothing from Eva, just a notification from an old half-dead app we used to use to sync calendars. Status, single. I laughed. Short. Hollow. Then I saw it. In the corner of the screen, a notification log. Auto-forwarded. Room H. Executive clearance override. My eyes burned. My fingers itched. I needed answers. Back at Helix, I took the side entrance. Not through the lobby. Not past the receptionist's knowing look. I still remembered the old staff badge access pattern. 2 quick swipes. 1 long hold. Legacy override. Doors beeped, opened. The service lift was slower, but it didn't ask questions. Back to 42. The floor was quiet now. Late morning lull. Footsteps echo. Smell of citrus cleaner and overworked AC. Then I heard her. Eva, not laughing this time. Stern. Efficient. "I need those files before the talisman call. If legal stalls again, go above them." A pause. "Yes, I know what I'm asking." I moved closer to the frosted glass. Static on the intercom feed. Then, her voice. Lower. "Hunter's getting suspicious. We may need to move the timeline up." My pulse cracked. Footsteps fast. I turned, slipped into the side corridor just as the conference room door opened. Eva walked past. Alone. Eyes like slate. Phone pressed to her ear. My name in her mouth like it was dust. The man in her office. Gone. No trace. No ring. Only the reflection in the glass. Mine. Staring back at me like a stranger. That man was wearing my ring. And Eva was smiling like she'd never worn mine. The wind hadn't died. If anything, it had gotten sharper. I stood outside Helix again, coat wet from sleet, palms tingling with adrenaline, and something worse. Certainty. I wasn't crazy. He was wearing my ring. I re-entered through the east side corridor. Less traffic, less surveillance. The receptionist raised her head, a polite smile not quite reaching her eyes. "Mr. Calloway, Ms. Calloway's meeting is still in progress." "I know," I said. "I just forgot something upstairs." "Executive floors require clearance," she said, tone soft but final. "That hasn't changed." "It used to. Eva once told me, if you ever need me, just come. No one tells you no." That was before the smiles turned cold and her schedule turned bulletproof. I swiped my old Helix badge. It blinked red. She hadn't just revoked access. She erased it. Elevator banks lined the hall like bullet chambers. I stepped into the center lift. Keypad shimmered. Floor 42. Disabled. I tried a manual override. Nothing. I hit 41. The ride up was silent, humming. My reflection in the polished steel walls didn't blink. The elevator stopped. I stepped out into empty silence. Frosted glass walls, motion-triggered lights, a cleaning cart abandoned mid-corridor. I walked toward the emergency stairwell. The keypad required a 6-digit clearance. I had one from years ago. Ava's birthday. It didn't work. I tried our anniversary, the day her father died, the stock IPO date. Nothing. Then a voice behind me. Mr. Calloway. I turned. She was sharp angles and calm poise. Black suit. No name tag. She didn't need one. Lydia Mercer, Helix's new chief legal officer. We shook hands. Her grip was colder than the badge scanner. Security flagged your entry, she said. Executive access isn't authorized without clearance. I'm not here for access, I said. I'm here for answers. Her smile was surgical. Answers often come in the form of risk. Let me escort you somewhere more appropriate. Appropriate? I echoed. The lounge. I followed. It wasn't a request. We cut through corridors I didn't recognize. That was strange. I helped map the original construction. Every inch. Every hallway. Now the place felt different. Refitted. Weaponized. The lounge was too clean. Too quiet. A vase of white orchids sat on a round table like a witness under oath. Lydia gestured toward the seating area. I remained standing. She placed her briefcase on the table, snapped it open, pulled out a single folder, thick, sealed. Would you like tea? She asked. I'd like my wife, I said. Lydia didn't blink. Ava is in a strategy call. This is not the time. It wasn't her I saw laughing a few minutes ago. Her silence was louder than denial. You know, I said, people think truth is a straight line. It's not. It loops. It pretends to vanish. And then it blindsides you in a corridor you thought you built yourself. Lydia finally opened the folder. Inside, printed documents, contracts, legal memos, and one signature at the bottom of a financial disclosure form. My signature. Except I never signed it. I didn't approve this, I said. She closed the folder. You've had a long morning. Memory can falter under stress. No, that's not what this is. My breath quickened. You forged me. Mr. Calloway, she said calmly, please understand, any such claims must go through internal review. If you're feeling overwhelmed. A sharp ping from her phone. She glanced down, locked the screen quickly, but not before I saw the notification. Room H. Surveillance alert. Subject outside containment. Room H. That same phrase from earlier. Not an office. A warning. What's in Room H? I asked. Her expression froze. Nothing concerning you, she said. Wrong answer. I stepped forward. She stepped back. That hesitation told me everything. I was close. Too close. I walked toward the door. She moved to block me. You'll regret this. I already do. The door hissed shut behind me. Back in the corridor. Back into the elevator. I punched the panel. Again. Still no 42. No Room H. Only silence. Then a voice from behind. This time, male. Mr. Calloway? Security. Not in uniform. He smiled too easily. Let's get you back to the ground floor. I nodded. Followed. Down the hall, a wall-mounted monitor flickered. Surveillance footage. A freeze frame. Me, standing outside a door marked H, internal containment, exec clearance only. In the corner of the screen, a second figure blurred by movement. Not Eva, not me, but someone else. Someone wearing the same ring. If she was hiding Room H, I was damn sure going to find it. The city looked different after what I saw. Not bigger, not colder, just fake. Like every brick of Helix was built on a secret, and I'd been living inside the lie. I waited until nightfall. No badge this time, no elevator, only grit. I looped around the loading dock, found the maintenance access hatch half buried under snowmelt and trash, pulled it open, dropped in. Darkness swallowed me. Concrete tunnels, hum of buried tech, the stale stink of forgotten air. I moved fast, quiet, every step a memory. Helix had changed, but not enough to erase me. They thought I was gone. They were wrong. The service corridor led me under the eastern wing. I emerged behind a storage room near the data center. Keypads blinked silently on polished walls. One door, marked Room H, No knob, no window, only a biometric pad and a silent hum like the room was breathing. I reached into my coat, pulled out a microscanner I kept from my old audit days, attached it to the panel, waited. Biometric mismatch, the voice said. I smiled, then pulled out something else. Eva's backup key. Not stolen, inherited. She'd given it to me once, back when trust wasn't just a word we buried. Key slid into the override port. Click. Door hissed. I stepped inside. Cold. Too cold. Sterile lighting. Walls of glass. Rows of sealed files, servers humming like beasts in cages. Then I saw it. A desk in the center of the room. Tablet screen still lit. And on that screen, my name. Hunter Calloway, identity package, a folder tree, medical voice print, retinal scan, signature, template, legal power of attorney, Eva Calloway, marriage status nullified, 2013, I didn't breathe, didn't blink, 2013, we were still sleeping in the same bed, same Christmas photos, same couple's dinner with the Brodies, all fake. She had legally erased me 12 years ago, but kept me, publicly, a placeholder, a decoy. And the man today, the one in her office, he wasn't my replacement. He was my shadow, my copy. No, he was the official version. I was the prototype, the disposable version. I opened a subfile, Project Echo, subject deployment status, active voice samples, security clearance, digital signatures, mine but not mine, authorized under my name, Hunter Calloway, signing off on documents I'd never seen. Transfers, memos, approvals. I scrolled further. Access logs, FBI watch flag, dormant DHS note, potential asset misuse, internal flag, too close to source. Every line was a bullet aimed at me. Suddenly, I understood. Eva wasn't cheating. She was laundering me, turning my existence into her firewall, and someone, somewhere, was watching me slowly burn. Then the lights flickered. I froze. Footsteps outside. I killed the screen. Backed into the far corner, the door hissed open, a silhouette. Male, tall, familiar gait. He stepped inside, didn't look around, pulled out his phone, dialed. She knows. He was here, he said. Yes, the files. Echoes exposed. A pause, then, no. He doesn't know about Talisman yet, or the offshore access. Talisman, another code name, another ghost behind a ghost. I gritted my teeth, moved. Quiet as breath. As he passed, I reached out, grabbed the flash drive off the table, same one he'd used. He didn't notice. The moment he turned to leave, I ducked behind the server tower, heart pounding. Another call buzzed through his earpiece. I caught one line. Make sure he disappears. Quietly this time. He left. I waited. 1 minute. 2. Then I slipped out, flash drive clenched in my hand like a detonator, because it was. That wasn't just data. That was my life. Twisted, cloned, sold. And someone else was walking around, living it better. I wasn't just lied to. I was erased. The drive back was a blur. I didn't feel my hands on the wheel, just the weight of that flash drive in my pocket like it pulsed with every heartbeat. I pulled into the ramp of my condo, Eva's name on the lease, her art on the walls, her silence in every room. I didn't go upstairs. I went underground, second sublevel, storage access only. I backed into a corner spot, shut off the engine, and waited. 10 minutes passed. Then headlights. A black Audi rolled up slow. Driver's side opened. He stepped out. Calm. Crisp suit. Not the same man from room H. This one I knew. Dorian Vance, Eva's VP of Global Strategy, the man in the office, and the man I now knew who was married to her. On paper. I expected you sooner, he said, voice low. I move quiet. So does death, he replied. We stood in the hum of fluorescent lights and engine ticks. He opened the passenger door. Get in. You want answers? This is your last off-ramp. I slid in. We didn't speak until the garage door shut behind us and we were on the freeway, heading west. Snow flurried around the windshield like static. Then, I wore the ring because I had to. Dorian said, no one has to do that. In this game, no one wants to. But you don't say no to Eva Calloway, not unless you like federal audits, revoked visas, or waking up indicted. He tossed a small flash drive into my lap. Another one, labeled Talisman Protocol. What is it? Your life, he said. The one she rewrote. I stared at him. She created two versions of you, Hunter. One for marriage, one for control. You were the brand. I was the paper. You married her. Legally, yes, but I never touched her. We had one job, to split the shell, own both halves, and make sure you never asked the right questions. What's on the drive? Enough to bury Helix. I didn't blink. Then why give it to me? Dorian looked over. Because they think you're already buried. We exited near an industrial complex. He pulled into a dead lot near a gutted warehouse. Chain link fence rattled. Wind howled between cracked concrete. Then a pop. Loud. Sharp. Car 2 rows behind us exploded into flame. The shockwave lifted our hood. I hit the door, rolled out. Gunshot cracked. Window next to me burst into dust. Dorian shouted, "They tracked it! Move!" We ran. Ducking behind a delivery truck. A third shot rang out. Closer. "Sniper," I hissed. "No, not sniper," Dorian breathed. "Worse." Then tires screeched. A van. Matte black. Doors slid open. Masked men. They pulled Dorian fast. Too fast. I lunged. Missed. Metal slammed. The van peeled off. Gone. Smoke rose from the burning wreck. Sirens in the distance. I staggered behind the truck, breath shallow, blood loud in my ears. One flash drive in my hand. His. Mine now. I checked it. Encrypted. Biometric lock. I didn't have the reader, but I had one contact who might. Someone I hadn't seen in years. Someone who owed me everything and hated me for it. I pulled my phone. Dead. No service. Burned signal. Of course, I ran 3 blocks, broke into an old diner on 8th, grabbed a burner phone off a supply shelf. Still kept one there, an old favor from the cook. Dialed. 3 rings. A woman answered, her voice colder than I remembered. "You're not supposed to be alive." "Mara," I said, "I need to see you." Long silence. "Where?" "Somewhere we both regret." She hung up. Text came 5 seconds later. Pier 7. 1 hour. Come alone. Bring whatever Eva gave you. My sister, the one I thought was dead. And now I was walking straight back into the fire. She didn't replace me with Dorian. She replaced both of us with something far worse. The dock smelled like rust and salt and endings. Cold metal groaned beneath my boots as I stepped onto Pier 7. Fog curled like fingers between the pylons. No lights, just the distant pulse of a barge horn somewhere beyond the mist. Mara stood under a dead crane. Hood up, hands in her coat. Same boots she wore the day she vanished. "Still alive," she said, without looking. Disappointed. "You were always too stubborn to stay dead." I handed her the flash drive. She took it without flinching, plugged it into a burner tablet. Screen blinked. Biometric scan required. "Yours," she said, holding it up. I hesitated. "This unlocks your truth," she added. "Or your coffin. Up to you." I leaned forward. The tablet blinked green. Access granted. Files open like a wound. Contracts signed under my name. Offshore wire transfers authorized with my credentials. Access logs to secure systems I'd never touched. Digital recordings of me in board meetings I never attended. I watched myself nod, speak, sign, smile, a perfect replica. Not AI. Live action deep fakes. Eva hadn't just stolen my identity. She'd manufactured a better version of me. Compliant, polished, programmable. Jesus, I breathed. This is worse than you think. Mara swiped. A file named Echo Spouse 1 opened. Photos of Dorian, voice print overlays, affidavits. He wasn't just the legal husband, she said. He was the authorized replacement, the one who could be sacrificed. I stepped back. Wait, what are you saying? She never planned to kill you, Hunter, Mara said. She planned to erase you, let Dorian wear the blame, burn the fake marriage, and walk away with every account, every security token, all under your name. But I'm the real Hunter. Mara looked at me then for the first time. Not to the system. She tapped again. Talisman protocol. Final phase initiated. Ava's rolling the endgame, she said. In 72 hours, you sign off on Project Talisman. The transfer hits 5 continents, tax havens, shell core. Once that happens, the real you doesn't exist. I swallowed hard. How do I stop her? You don't. Mara stepped closer. You vanish. We leak this to the right hands. Whistleblowers, data activists, a controlled burn. You're talking about killing myself. I'm talking about resurrection. Thunder cracked overhead. You want to take her down, she said. You have to die first, at least on paper. My hands were shaking. She stole everything, Mara. My name, my marriage, my life. Mara's voice lowered. Then take it back the only way she can't control, by becoming the ghost she built. I looked at the tablet again. Every file, every voice clip, every fingerprint, proof of the lie, and the weapon that could blow her empire wide open. But to use it, I had to vanish. Where's Dorian? I asked. She hesitated. They didn't kill him, not yet. Then we find him. He's bait. All the better. Mara locked eyes with me. You're not ready for this. No one ever is. The tablet buzzed. Another file popped up. Talisman. Asset destruction list names. Mine, Dorian's, and Mara's. She went still. You're on the list, I whispered. She knows I'm helping you. Then we go now. Another thunderclap, another choice, and no time left. You want the truth, Hunter? You'll have to die first, at least on paper. Rain hammered the pier like gunfire. I could hear it in my bones. Every drop a countdown. The flash drive burned in my coat pocket. Talisman, Echo. Every name that wasn't mine anymore. Every file that proved I had been manufactured instead of loved. I followed Mara toward the dock warehouse. She walked with a calmness that made my skin crawl. Not peace. Purpose. We slipped inside. Crates, rusted chains, fog curling like smoke from a dying fire. Then lights snapped on. Too many. Uniformed agents, tactical, shouts. I froze. A voice cut through the chaos. Hunter Calloway, drop your weapon. I didn't have a weapon. I had a drive and a pulse racing like an engine at redline. A figure approached, hands open. Not a cop. Dorian. Blood staining his shirt, where a bullet grazed him earlier. Dirt on his boots. Rage in his eyes. You walked into a trap, he said. Eva set this. She knew Mara would bring you here. I know, I said. I'm here to end it. He nodded slow. Then we do it together. The agents closed in. Tension snapped. I raised my hands. 2 flashes, camera shutters, live stream. Then a megaphone crackled. Hunter Calloway, you are surrounded. State your intentions. I glanced at Dorian. No fear. Only focus. I took a breath. Everything you've been told about me is a lie, I said into the mic. I'm not the man you think. I have proof. Every contract, every transfer was forged. Helix Global stole my name, my life. A murmur rippled through the agents. A voice from the crowd said, "Show us." I held up the flash drive. One agent stepped forward. Turn it over and come peacefully. I looked at Dorian, then at Mara, who stood in shadows. She didn't flinch. I realized then what I had to do. I pressed record on the tablet. Truth, I said, voice steady. Not death. The warehouse speakers crackled. My face broadcast across every screen. Inside Helix, out in the streets, on every channel watching. An agent lunged for the drive. Dorian blocked him. Gunfire. Concrete dust. Echo like thunder. I ran toward the edge of the pier, tablet in hand. The quote my father once threw at me came back. To a future we can't escape. We must first face the truth we fear. I thought of Ava, steel and glass, her smile a blade in daylight, her empire built on ghost words and borrowed names. She never valued truth, only control. I thought of Mara, gone too long, shaped by the same shadows that warped our family. She stepped beside me as the tablet's screen shone like a flare in the storm. Hit publish, she said. I did. The video popped up everywhere instantly. Contracts, emails, offshore accounts, voice prints, identity templates. Hell, they even included a scanned copy of the fake marriage certificate. It spread like wildfire. Chaos, rumors, denials. Then silence. Sirens from afar. Helicopters overhead. Agents hesitated. Then phones. Lit up. Notices from regulators. A federal judge's seal. Press badges flared red across screens. The agency voice returned. Hunter Calloway, do not move. You are to be taken into protective custody. I let out a breath I hadn't known I was holding. The rain eased. Lights flickered off. Dorian looked at me. He's handing you over, he said. Not them. I nodded. Mara stepped forward, her face in the glare. Not dead, she murmured. Just unmasked. The tablet slipped from my fingers. I watched it spin on the wet concrete, screensaver burning truth into the blacktop. And then a new notification. Breaking. Helix Global CEO Eva Callaway resigns amid federal investigation. My heart thudded, but not with triumph, with something heavier: relief, regret. Somewhere in that tangled mess of wires and lies, I had found a fragment of myself. A stranger might have seen the flashes of cameras, the echo of sirens, the agents closing in. I saw people, not villains, not heroes, just humans twisted by power and fear. A reporter's voice boomed from the newsroom. In the end, truth doesn't kill us. It sets us on fire so we can see again. I didn't know who said it first, but I knew it felt right. They cuffed me gently, not like a criminal, like a witness, like a survivor. Mara walked beside me, silent. Dorian was taken to medics. We were all part of something bigger than the lies we carried. As they led me away, I saw the glow of cameras, the flashing red and blue. I felt one last thought, sharp as winter air. Truth doesn't just expose the dark. It frees the soul trapped inside. And as the precinct doors closed behind me, I realized they erased me once. But the world couldn't erase what was real. Not anymore.